we're about to go into the den of sound, so I hope you all brought your earplugs with you.
Well, the first thing is we're co-producing, and I think that was really important for us. For this record, which is our 8th record, I really just wanted it to be intimate, and I wanted to share it with my boys and my musicians.
When we played this Knotfest, I think it was 2014, and I saw how she interacted with the crowd, like, I got it. I was like, oh, she's perfect for this. That's where that personality and the stage presence and the mentality is. That's where she's made for. You know, she happens to bring it to the club stage, but that was really cool as just a performer and and her friend to see her do what she's really born to do.
Probably understand the hip hop stuff is going to be Otep, even though we're all into that stuff.
To get off stage with these guys, it almost feels like, after you get off like a roller coaster or like have a good workout in, and you feel good, like this is what I was supposed to do. This is awesome. You forget about all your troubles and kind of be in the moment for a while and share that with a lot of times strangers who were there for one common ground, and that's this music, and it's just a special feeling to be able to share the stage with these musicians.
But I'll just get off the kid. Everybody will kind of I'll be like, what the? And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my God, I know. Was that for real? I'll be like, dude, there's a hole in the ground over there. We just blew this place up. Because, we just felt it. And she's jumping 40 feet tall sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, just, holy cow, how'd she do that? Or he's doing big old stomps, just going. Drew's going ham, doing crazy bass riffs and just, interacting with the crowd and interacting with me, standing on my kit. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something too, and and usually after the set, it's like a natural high.
These are like my brothers. I've known them for so long, and I just feel like I can go to different places and feel safe. And that's really one of the most important things for a singer to do, especially when you write the type of music we write, which is like political protest music. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to feel vulnerable when you're touching on subjects that are usually taboo for certain bands. You have to feel vulnerable. You have to feel safe that you can be that vulnerable. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work with them, and I wanted to co-produce with Aristotle. And so our drummer, Justin Keir, and our bass player, Drew Barnes, Justin we call Hands, and Drew we call the Druid. This is their first time recording with us, and I think that was also something that I wanted. That energy of like joy and delight and gratitude and feeling blessed to actually be making art for art's sake. And so bringing them on this journey with us was really important to me. And besides, they're just some of the most talented people I've ever worked with, and I've gone through a lot of musicians. So
I think she saw me just working out, doing these kettlebell presses, and she was interested in getting in shape. At the time, I think her diet was horrific, and she couldn't train. She didn't know what to do, and she came out one time, I think, when I was working out. I was like, what are those things? What's going on here? And I said, oh, what's this? And, if you're interested, you're always welcome, that type of thing. And I think we just bonded over that.
I met her at a Starbucks with a gentleman named Mike Cato, and we hit it off instantly. It was instant, and I went on a 71-day tour with her. We went to Australia, Mexico, and just basically fell in love, like mutual souls. Really just vibed off each other the whole entire time. Now I've been here 5 years.
I've been in and out of local bands in LA for a while. So this is the next level, So this is what we aspire to get to. They brought me in before a tour, about a week before, just right before we went, and we were like, here we are. Let's get this chemistry going. And it worked out beautifully. Just after the first time we jam, it just all connected.
I'm a Northern California dude, so when I'm doing something a little more thrashy, you're like, that's a Cure song right there.
Obviously, Justin is a crusher on the drums, so to have this level of musicians together is pretty special as well.
He can play technical music, or he can find that fluidity that you need sometimes.
Drewski specifically, he's just a riot. We're kind of mutual combative comedians, so playing with him is one thing. Getting to hang out with him, getting to call him a brother is like, It's beautiful. And then having that relationship transpire into the music is like, it's intoxicating, you know. It's
You know, Drew is he's a finger player for all you bass nerds out there, you know. But he's technical, but he's got a lot of groove.
You can tell when Drew's just boom doom 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 doom, you know, doing these crazy things. You're like, that's a Drew song. Like,
And Aristotle can, you know, I mean, he's just a multi-instrumentalist. I call him my Da Vinci, because he can pretty much do anything he wants to do.
I've known that man since I've joined the band. He's been my brother since day one. We talk almost every day, usually during cardio. He's always doing cardio, and for some reason I hit him up.
Ari is one of the most talented people I've worked with.
You have a love for somebody, you have a love for music, you get to combine those two things. It's just pure power.
As a singer, I mean, I feel blessed and have, you know, gratitude beyond words that I'm able to work with talented people like this and have them believe in the message and have them stand with me when I'm going up against a lot of people that don't. All I ever wanted was to be surrounded by people who were super talented and that would challenge me to be a better singer, a better songwriter, a better artist, and they bring that out in me. People keep asking me, like, what's different about this record? And the one word that keeps coming back and over and over is authentic. It just feels like this is the most authentic record that I've ever written. It feels real to me, like what I'm saying, what I'm doing. I've cast off the anchors and the shackles of what others want me to do, and I'm able to just do what I want to do.
Well, this thing kind of started on tour, jam sessions. We have like a Behringer X32 that records all the drums. You know, everyone's plugged into it, so we can basically do on-stage recording. So we were just kind of jamming a lot of times during sound checks, kind of make sure the kit sounds good, the guitars sound good, and a lot of things just kind of, you know, all of a sudden I'm grooving on something, or Ari was playing a fiddle riff, or Drew would be playing a bass riff or something. And, you know, I'd hop on it, or he'd hop on it, and we just kind of vibed, and then I'd be like, oh, record.
You know, I've been listening to Otep for a while, and it doesn't sound like any of her other albums, and it's kind of special. And because when we first started writing this, she's like, go where it takes you, you know. So it's groovy, it's a little funky, you know. It's rock and roll, it's metal, it has, you know, it's rap, it's ballady. There's a ballad on there. It's absolutely beautiful.
We do have a ballad called Brave. When I'm writing these kinds of songs, I always think about, you know, what other singer-songwriters write and the music they use and the direction they use. And so for us, when we wrote Brave, we kept it's strings, it's piano and like a smidge of percussion, and then the rest is just me. And the message of the song is very important. It's about you know, breaking out of your bubble, breaking out of your comfort zone, and really finding courage to live your own life, because that's all you have. That's all we have, right? Our lives and time. That's it.
With this one, it was the sound of the music was born out of these improvisations and just kind of little jam sessions that the band would have at soundcheck. And a lot of times she'd be there and she'd be like, "Oh, whatever that was, remember that." Of course, I'll never remember it. So we started recording. But whatever that sound is very distinct to, you know, the four of us and how we kind of play off each other. That to me is an authentic sound.
But I think people are sitting behind computers too much, you know, and they're not like jamming with people. They're not getting the electricity that music is all about, you know, like even talking to, you just feel vibes, you know, you feel auras or people's personalities. So
we wanted to return to our roots. We wanted to be as authentic as we could in the way that we write the songs and the messages that we communicate, and then in the sounds that we want to use. Really try to pull something out of us that is at once vulnerable, but at the same time empowering. And I don't know if I would have been able to do that with a producer.
But it feels much more like our thing, and not like ours plus these people plus the limitations that they may have imposed, you know, either on purpose or just kind of as a result of working with different people's
this time we really wanted it to be really our own. So we're actually using instruments that we used on our first record. You know, I'm using the same mic that I used on my first album. It's nostalgic, but at the same time, it feels empowering.
They're so good. I feel they're all so good, and it's a part of my body. You know, it's a part of my soul. So it's like I don't want to choose my favorite kid. Like they're all my kids. It's a beautiful thing.
We are covering a Rage Against the Machine song on this record. Wake Up. Rage Against the Machine was one of my foundations. It started my journey on, you know, it was like The Doors and Rage Against the Machine and Radiohead and Nirvana and Slipknot and System of a Down and bands like that really started me on my journey. But Rage really did, because it was a combination of oration, grooves, and political messages, and challenging the status quo and challenging truth to power. You know, it was really just such a powerful influence on me. And for us to be able to cover one of their songs, and we're doing it completely as, you know, out of an homage to them and as a thank you to them for existing, and for all the courage that it took for them to stand up when they were together as a band. We worked really hard on that song to get it to a place where I felt like they would appreciate the homage and they would appreciate the power of the song. We're a politically motivated band. You know, we stand for the working class. We you know, which is the backbone of our society. We stand for equal rights for all people. You know, I get accused sometimes from you know, like haters and tough guys and all this, that I hate men because I'm a lesbian, and here I have three the straightest guys on the planet, you know, who are my brothers, who are standing side by side with me, making the music that they're listening to. So I feel very blessed, and it's been, this whole experience of recording this record has been so special, and you know, it's, I don't know, it reminds me of the first album, just the energy and the passion, and just how special it is. It just feels different. It feels good, you know. The idea was, every time, again, this is again working with producers, every time I would record something that was beautiful, even on the last record, say like On the Shore, which is about that 3-year-old Syrian boy that drowned. I wrote about his experience because I didn't want him to be lost in the 24-hour news cycle, like, oh, this is horrible, a 3-year-old baby died in his father's arms, drowned, and oh, and by the way, here's Trump's podium. And we'll stay on that for 45 minutes. I wanted to memorialize him. But even in that song, the producers wanted me to scream. They wanted me, you know, I'm the girl that goes grr, right? That's what they call me, among other things. Well, the record that we made a year ago, Generation Doom, there was something in the zeitgeist that I felt that was going to happen. That's the reason why the title was Generation Doom. We were either going to be the generation that was doomed, or we were going to be the generation that, you know, halted the doom. What's happening now, I think, is a direct attack on democracy. I think it's a direct attack on free speech. It's a direct attack on minorities, the LGBT community, women. And so there's a lot to be angry about. And there's a lot to be proud of as well, because without Traitor Trump in office, who sold us out to the Russians so that he could get in office, without him, we wouldn't have all these people learning civics and paying attention to who's running in their districts, whether it's, you know, the city council or the DA or the sheriff or whatever, you know, their own communities. They're paying attention now, and they're holding them accountable. I mean, and I think that it's also very important that we don't gloss over the fact that the biggest march in this country's history was created and empowered by women. 2018, and women still don't have equal pay. We still don't have the same rights as men in many areas, especially when they start attacking birth control, but they cover Viagra and insurance. And then you have a sexual predator in the White House, but for some reason they give this orange creature a pass. And I think that there's hypocrisy there. There's almost a cult around who he is. So for me, it was really important not only on this album, to direct attention towards him and his failures and his lies and his hypocrisies and everything else, but also to the people that elected him, to people that ignored the obvious signs that he was going to be a clear and present danger to this country.
Absolutely, 100%. This music is relevant to what's going on in the world today, and I think Otep's always been about bringing current events and speaking on that. And she's, as you know, anyone who knows her, she speaks her mind, and there's a lot to say on this album.
But what I do take issue with is when people tell me, because I'm a musician, I'm a singer in a band, that I shouldn't have an opinion on politics when they elected a D-list reality TV star, right? Whose slogan was, "You're fired," right? But he's supposed to be a job creator. So there's a lot of material for that on this record. And, you know, there's going to be some people that don't like it. And I'm not in this to be popular. I'm an artist. I reflect what's going on in the atmosphere that I exist, and that's what I write.
I think there's just general state, the feeling in the country. I mean, you know, we've toured it several times. The unease of having someone so unpredictable or predictably unpredictable in control of things. You look to people that have a voice to speak against it. You know, you wonder where's Zack de la Rocha right now. You know, you wish that System of a Down would come out with something. You know, you're happy when you hear Eminem do something, and I'm lucky that I've got a friend that does something whenever these things happen, and kind of put a voice to the things that I'm thinking. But it's not my nature to get up on a stage and protest these things. So I'm happy to be part of it.
First of all, we have a president, which is hard for me to say that about him. 45 is what I call him. You have a man in the office who said that just because you're famous, you can walk up and you can grab a woman's pussy. I hang out with a lot of people. I live in Los Angeles. I've known a lot of very powerful people, a lot of very famous people. I've never known one of them to do that and get away with it, you know? Never. His presence is definitely going to be on the album, but at the same time, I don't want to spend a lot of time on him specifically, because he's nothing without the people that support him. He's nothing without the people that believe his bullshit. I want to ask him, how much a box of diapers cost? You know? How much is a gallon of milk? How much is a gallon of soy milk? How much is a gallon of gas? This is the man that somehow tricked working class people into believing that he was their guy, and he's not. So all that's on the record. all that is on the record, and more. There's an old Greek myth about a woman named Cassandra. She has a gift of foresight, and most women can understand it. But she has a gift of foresight, which means, but one of the gods didn't like it. So he couldn't take that part of away from her, but what he did is he made everyone else not believe her. So this was a play that was written by the Greeks in order to explain why it is that women are usually right and no one believes them, and then we have to go back and go, I told you so. So it's called Cassandra disease. It's an actual thing, that it is sometimes writing political music, writing protest music. It's a little hard when you suffer from that, you know, when you have that Cassandra disease, you know.
I'm a son of an immigrant, and I just can't imagine, you know, being in a spot where my dad, who was a hardworking, asset, beloved member of the community that we still live in, being under threat of, you know, you don't belong here. Which is what this entire country was founded on. It's like, you can come over here. You should come here and be part of this thing. It's so antithetical to the fundamental and beautiful thing about where we live, which is different. It's wholly unique in the world, and I've traveled a decent amount of it. And you know, as beautiful as all these other countries that I've seen, this is a special place. And it's very concerning to think that somebody is trying to reframe it into some, you know, upper crusty tribe So yeah, I think what we have to say is very relevant right now, unfortunately.
I stick to what I say. I stand by what I say. I try to stay as informed as I can about the things that I talk about, because I want to know, what I'm saying, not just picking up phrases here and there, but I actually want to know what I'm saying. In that regard, I think this record too is going to be focused more on the Obama generation more than it is going to be the Trump folks. I think those are the ones. And they're welcome to come to a show if they want, but I don't think they're going to be very happy.
We're really lucky in that we have just people that are die-hard believers in what we're doing, and the only chance you have to continue to do this is if they're still there. And so thank you for continuing to support and believe in this, and to enable that awesome dialogue, not just lyrically but musically, where you get to look out and see people. You play something and you just see that smile, and it's like it's a wonderful thing.
Crowd compassion, band compassion. You mix those two things, it's a nuclear bomb. It's it's explosive. There's nothing in the world like it.
Felt blessed that I was able to make a living through art, and still maintain my roots as coming from the working class and being poor, and all of that is also, those subjects are also touched upon on most of my records, but especially on this one because I think it's time. Revolver magazine compared me to Woody Guthrie and Zack Rocha as a catalyst for social change, and that alone makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing.